Hello, everybody. It's your light-skinned brother and your dark-skinned sister. We here again for Thursday Love.
So funny.
Chocolate and vanilla. We Ashford and Simpson. Tina and Ike.
No. We would not be that. We would not be that.
Lola and Falana. Nah, hey guys. Welcome again to another awesome edition of, I'm about to say Live at the Tabernacle. Thursday Love. Thursday Love.
Hey, George.
J Purpose Driven Booth.
J.
GPDB. There we go.
Oh, Jesus.
That'd be nice. That's a good. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Love. Tonight, man, we got a good one for you. Oh, that sounds like Steve Harvey. We got a good one for you. Now, honestly, tonight we got a good one for you. So we know over the last couple of months, we've been doing different segments. And they've been awesome segments. We've had some for the singles. We were once that. Don't want to be that no more. Then we had stuff for there's too much work to be single, man. I'm telling you. To me, it's less work to be married than it is to be single. I ain't got to worry about sustaining from abstinence. Anyway, though, like the Lord saying. Anyway, then we had some stuff for the married couples, which was great. And I had one question to ask our guest tonight. I've been asking all the men, so I'm gonna ask him tonight. I can't wait. But anyway, we've been having some good conversations from the couples. So we been having a good time, y'all. A really great time. And then we went from the couples to actually real life experiences. Last week we had, the week before that it was Moment with Mommies. And that was an awesome conversation. We got to learn the difference between Down syndrome and autism, and the difference between saying special needs, and what was the other one?
Mentally handicapped.
Mental handicap. That was an awesome conversation. We got taught how not to say ignorant things when it comes to kids such as that. And then
and be supportive to the parents
as well.
Yeah.
And then last week we got to talk about mental health awareness.
Yeah, because May is mental health awareness.
Yeah, May's mental health awareness. We got to learn the difference between mental health and mental illness. We even got into the point of talking about people in the church, couples in the church, individuals in the church, that it's okay to go see counselors, and because they even mentioned that them as counselors have counselors. So even a counselor needs a counselor. So pretty much to me that says that everybody needs some type of covering. Everybody needs somebody to hold them accountable, to check them, and they need somebody they can talk to keep themselves alive. But tonight, y'all, tonight begins our series of Married
to a
musician. And look, let me tell you, every woman is married to a musician. You married a gem. You don't know. I'm telling you, you don't know. You just married a gold mine. You married a gold. I'm sure. Tell them that you married a gold mine.
I married a gold mine.
All right, you take it over now.
Yeah, you don't.
Because I'm gonna hear the truth in your voice.
Welcome everybody.
Welcome once, you're welcome twice.
For those that are here, we are truly excited. We did start off kind of serious this month, but we wanted our people to be very educated, and we was very intentional about what people were learning. But this is a series that was on my heart for a while now, and I kind of shortened it because we're not going to be going forth with Thursday Love during the summer. So, but
we're taking a break.
But I'm excited because for the first time of us doing Married to a Musician, we have our brother and our sister with us, and so what better than have family with us that we know gonna cut up, we know gonna tell us the truth and keep it real with us, and so we're truly excited. So we're gonna not delay the hour any longer, and we're gonna go ahead and bring them in tonight, so they can do all the talking. We sit here and listen.
We have Pastor Mike and First Lady Amber Georges tonight, guys. That's the Mike and First Lady Amber Georges.
First Lady.
Oh no. I should have put that up there. I should have put Pastor Mike on the banner. Pastor Mike and First Lady Amber.
She would have screenshot and X out the First Lady.
No, thank you.
So welcome. We are truly excited about you guys being here. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come.
Thank y'all for having us. You know, thank y'all for having us.
I was excited when you asked. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
She knew about it before I did. She read it first. I was like,
I'm like, what we gonna say?
Yeah.
Say whatever you want to say, as long as you ain't cussing in this hole. But y'all all married, so you ain't got to keep it PG.
I'll see y'all later. We out.
So yeah, for those who don't know, I started a couple of years ago. With Thursday Love has been on for 4 years, about to be 5. And a couple of years ago, I started these quotes. It says, articles of a musician's wife. And it's basically saying, telling our story, our little sayings, our little thoughts about being a musician's wife. I can truly say that when I was growing up and when I was getting older, I did not want to get married and I did not want to have kids. But I said, if I did get married, I did not want to marry an actor or a musician. It was just, I was just being very specific. That's what I told a friend one day. But I never thought I would get married anyway. So it didn't matter because I just wanted to live my life. And so, but now here I am, and I am married to my handsome husband, who is a musician. But tonight it's all about you guys and you telling your story. So I want to hear this story. So before we get started, just introduce yourselves, tell the people about you, and then we're going to get on into it.
How do I start this? My name is Ringo Starr. This is Yoko Ono. I used to
just be normal, Mike. Don't embarrass me.
I used to play for a rock band, a famous rock band
we
called
are
the Beatles.
Michael and Amber Georges. We've been married. It'll be 2 years, June 21st. Which is up soon. 21st. I am originally from Durham, North Carolina. And
I thought you were about to say New York.
No, I am.
She's from here.
Can't you hear me? I'm so country. I am from here.
Hey.
I am.
Hallelujah.
How did we meet? And tell the truth. Oh, can I say this really quick? Yes. I didn't want to get, we're so the same. I didn't want to get married either. And I also did not want to marry any, because I grew up in the church. I did not want to marry a musician. I did not want to marry anybody I wanted to marry someone that was a believer, but I did not want to marry somebody that worked in the church. Okay.
Well, let me be the first to say, clearly you and Sherry did not hear God. Let me just say that. I think that's probably clearly y'all missed it.
Listen, all of my cousins, everybody, they're musicians or they sing and they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Oh, so go ahead. Tell them how we met, Mike. Tell the truth.
Okay. So 7 years ago. So it actually started years ago. I was doing a concert here in Durham at Bethel at Bishop Bloomer's church one night, and I sang, did my little ditties, my little nursery rhymes, and she was there. I didn't know at that time, didn't know she was there, but I remember, like, after that night, I think I followed her or she followed me.
I started following you that night. Because when he got on stage, I was like, what is this skinny dude with this hair about to do?
Yes, yeah.
And so when he got up there, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I started following him on social media, probably like 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago.
In other words, man, she started stalking you on social media.
No, actually, no. I started following him and forgot all about him, honestly. Literally forgot all about him, to be honest.
But like, so we moved up, fast forward and
to 2017.
2017 came about, and I happened to be around the time of our birthday. I happened to be like on Instagram and saw her pictures from her birthday celebration, remembering that her cousin had told me that we had the same birthday. So I seen the pictures. In between seeing the pictures, like even on her Insta story, I was intrigued. I was like, oh, she cute. Hey, chocolate. All right. Hey, man, wait, let me finish.
Okay, because you're not going to tell the truth.
She gonna keep cutting me off.
He's not going to tell the truth.
No. So
he has his version. You got your version.
Oh yeah,
yes, you're right.
So I would comment. I would respond. Like I would react in her direct message, in her DMs. I would say something or just give a reaction, an emoji reaction, whatever. At that time, honestly, right before I started doing that. And I won't go to the deep side of it or the spooky spiritual side, but I wasn't in the place of dating at that moment. I just really didn't have it in me. I was like, I'm done with that. I just need to focus on my life or whatever. But even at the same time, she was just on my timeline, looking good. Glory to his name. What she said, delicioso. So I would comment here and there, such and such, and she would respond back, nicely or flirtatious as well. With Scorpios, it happens, is what we do naturally. Glory to his name. And so after a while, I just got content with just reacting and commenting and complimenting her because I really wasn't trying to pursue anybody at any point in time. So the Lord saw fit. I think this is where she heard God this time, Pastor TJ, brother.
Thank you. Sometimes you get the attention. Yes.
Because what happened was, I wish I had some meditational music right now just behind me, like because after that she got tired of me just commenting and responding in her DMs, and pretty much she responded one night and was just like verbatim, look, are you going to take my number or am I taking yours? This was her message. I said, oh, well, all right, let's go for it. So we exchanged numbers. Right before all of that took place, I actually, speaking of her family, I came and played at a homegoing for one of their family.
Or Aunt Sophie's.
There was a family homegoing, which I was about to say who it was.
Hey, hold on, Mike. I need to go get some popcorn and some soda. Go right ahead.
You want some candy too. I'm just telling you that. So I'm at the funeral because her cousin asked me to play at the funeral. And at the time, I just was like, all right, cool. I left work early and went to the funeral. I'm there for probably like an hour before the funeral starts, playing during the viewing and everything else. While I'm on the organ, literally as I was playing, but looking at my phone, in comes this chocolate thing right here, and her sister and her cousin. When she walked in, what I said to myself was, I won't say it verbatim what was in my head because it's not holy hallelujah, but I was like, oh, duh, her cousin, right? And then the 22 plus 2 is 22 technically, but is really 4. So at the funeral, while I was playing and doing what I was supposed to do, following the Holy Spirit and blessing the bereaved, I kept looking over in the choir section every chance I got. Now, in my defense, not only was I looking at her, but I was also looking because Aunt Deb was over there directing the choir, and I'm trying to figure out, well, what are y'all about to sing? Because I don't know what y'all about to sing. I was like, okay, I'm looking over there. So it was a perfect storm for me. Look at Aunt Deb, look at chocolate. Look at chocolate, look at Aunt Deb. I was in a good place. I was in a perfect position. She noticed, like I saw her noticing that I was looking at her and vice versa and whatever. So much so that I found out during the homegoing, they were trying to figure out what to sing. Somebody whispered over to her family and said, why don't y'all just let him sing? He can sing. So I end up singing. I didn't notice at the time until she told me after the fact. Now, the way she would say it is,
don't let me say it.
Go ahead.
all that stuff happened. So I'm not even going to backtrack on that. But Mike did not start, and I have the proof. Mike did not start liking pictures and DMing until after he saw me at the funeral. So the funeral took place first.
Oh.
My dear Aunt Sophie was just laying there looking pretty, and you was checking me out in the middle of a funeral. But no, that's how what happened. That came first.
Hey, look.
So look, I have the DMs, I have all of that. So I told him, I was like, listen, I didn't really do DMs at the time, unless it was a client hit me up or somebody interested in getting their hair done. So with guys talking to me in my DMs, they got swerved. Like I kept them on mute, like I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. So that's why we talked a couple of times. I'm like, okay, so you want my number? Like what's happening? What's happening?
So we got time.
Pretty much how it happened. But I will say that when my cousin told me that he was playing, I was like, why is he playing at the funeral? Like, what is he gonna do there? Is he just gonna be jumping up and down? Like, I'm just not in the mood. I promise you, my mom remembers that I said that. She's like, but he's really good. I'm like, yeah, but why?
So you seem like you were enticed a little bit, but yet you were just unentertained. Like
I really wasn't enticed yet. I knew he was talented.
You had a real disdain for musicians then.
Well, I knew he was very talented, but I really wasn't. Not yet.
You just want to attract it to him in the beginning. So you telling me that first time you saw him?
But no, because he was close to so we had some mutual people, and I was like,
right.
So that's a good thing, because a musician doesn't need a wife who's infatuated with him. Right. A musician needs a wife who
loves his. Don't stir me too early. Don't stir me early.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because no matter what he does, you're gonna be the one to tell him, hey, you were good, but you were flat. Hey, you were good, but you played the wrong note. Hey, you were good, but you stayed up there too long. So, but no, I'm serious, because as a musician, we're so used to hearing people, pump and prime us and tell us how great we are and how good we did. But we need somebody in our life who can bring us back down to earth to say, all right, yeah, you were great, but you still need to work on this. You know what I'm saying?
So you won't caught up in the hype.
Yeah, so you were real wife, is what I'm saying.
Honestly, the more we talked, I had no idea he had music on iTunes. I was like, oh, like I didn't know all of those things. First, because I was all that too, So
that's right, Amber. That's right.
What was going on this side either, So, but I didn't know, so it was cool, and it was, I just wasn't really impressed. And I will say, like, now that we've been married, it's like I'm more impressed now than I was when we were dating.
Yeah, because you got
it's like you wrote that. You just sat down there and sang all those parts, like in our garage, and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, Yeah.
So Mike, what are those words that
God
you claimed that
Mike.
you couldn't say up here? But you can say them up here.
I knew he was looking at me too, y'all.
So what's the question you have to ask? It's the perfect time.
So Mike, I know you said you was doing the whole work, and you saw, but Mike, when you saw Amber, man, what did you see it from the front or from the back, man?
It was the front first.
Oh, what is wrong?
I was dressed. It was church.
She was dressed, and she was coming down the
aisle. And Grandma don't play that, so I was fully clothed.
The organ. You know how most organs are positioned in the sanctuary. So it was positioned sideways, like where I can see. You can see the pulpit. So she's coming down the center aisle, and so I'm looking over, and I said,
Mike.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, it's not. It's not.
See, it's not bad until you. It's not bad until you to the vibrations come out.
And so at that moment, it caught me off guard, and I was, okay, well, amen. Here's the even funnier part. True story. I don't even know if I told you this. While she was coming down the aisle, by the time she got to the choir section, my phone was propped up on the part where we, hold the books and stuff. I actually went to her Instagram during the service. Yeah, that's what I did.
To make sure it was me.
No. I did it because this is why she always keeps saying I didn't start going in her DMs until after the funeral. I had liked pictures from the birthday and everything else before then and that's how it was easy for me to find her. So I was like, oh yeah, duh. I literally was just looking at her page a couple days before that. Hallelujah, glory to his name. So it was easy for me to do so. But yeah,
I even put in my story, y'all. I said, if this boy, and I said, boy, like 6 more of my pictures, I'm gonna shoot my shot. And I told my mom, and we went on a date January 6th. And I'm like, Mom, I don't think I want to go. Like, she was like, no, Amber. When I hugged him at the funeral, I just felt this and this. I'm like, here we go. Yeah, I ain't going. Never mind. I ain't going.
Mama too.
So we went.
Mama was tapped in.
Like I knew he was slimmer than what I was used to. But when we sat down, we ate. Mom was like, "Well, he's tall," and he stood up. I was like, "Oh, he's tall." Okay. So I was sold after that. I was sold.
Technically, you were sold, but really, we both said after our first date. It was Saturday. It was January 6th, 2018, and I had just left leading worship because during that time, Summit did Saturday and Sunday service. We did both. So I just got finished the Saturday service. And we went there with Tai Sue here in Briar Creek. Yeah. We went there. And after we left that first date, like we both said that we talked later, we both kind of felt after we left there, like, I think we'll be good friends. Right. Like we'll just be cool. Very silly,
yeah.
I was like, I think we'll be cool.
Right.
Yada yada. But then we didn't talk for a few days.
I was waiting for you to say yada yada, man.
Weird.
Yeah. We didn't talk for like 3 days. And no exaggeration, it was irritating me that I did not talk to her. And so I remember, I think I texted her or called her. Was like, I just feel weird that we hadn't talked.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so from that point on, we talked every day.
And then actually, it was a few days after that I was having a bad day. Yeah. He told me to pull up to the shop and then call him. I'm like, oh God, what is he about to tell me? Because we're in the pre-dating phase. I'm like, what is he about to say? Is he married? Like, what's going on? I put up to the shop, y'all, and he prayed for me, and I was like,
okay.
That's what your mama felt when she hugged her.
Yeah,
she felt that ghost.
No, this has never happened before.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So yeah, and that's really how it kind of started.
We've been talking
kept it on the low
day.
for a while because I was single for a long time.
So Amber, what
because I had some things to clean up.
What denomination did you grow up in?
Baptist, United Church of Christ.
So was it? Did you have the Baptist fit? Did you do all that?
No.
Did you speak in those tongues?
I cried. I'm a crier. I cried.
She cried.
Okay.
I cried.
I'm just checking to see if you have.
Okay, so y'all said 2 key things. Mike, you said she was fully clothed coming down the aisle.
Just like Mary.
And Amber, you said that he was not your type. Now I can say that when I met TJ, he was not my type.
Man, I ain't nowhere near her type.
Yeah, well,
I ain't dark skin.
You're my type now.
I ain't bald headed. I ain't bow legged. I ain't tall. But I'm athletic. But I want nothing, man. Sherry she just wanted on any side of God. Everything she
I won't save.
None.
I won't save. I didn't grow up in church. I didn't grow up in church. So that's what I was getting to. It's funny. Usually you see Mike sees all these women, TJ saw all these girls, and Amber, all these guys. I've seen all these guys. It's funny how somebody that you don't click with immediately ends up being somebody that you say forever to. I try to tell most of the women, because most of the women, I want my guy like this, and I want my guy like we do. We have a list. We have a standard that we're looking for. And then it's funny. I said most of the women, wives that I talk to, most of them I can say 9 out of 10 say, well, he wasn't the one or she wasn't the one like I was looking for. Now, so with that being said, what was your type? Because TJ already told my type. Yeah, what was your type?
I like, and I hope nobody watching this gets offended, but I like guys that are overweight, big guys.
Yeah.
Like dark skin, but I like them to be big, like football type guys,
Yeah, like thick and solid.
Yeah, Rick Ross,
Yeah. Oh no, you like the big boys.
Yeah.
You like them short or looking like?
No, he said tall.
Oh, tall.
She said tall. She said tall.
Yeah, that's typically my type. Light skin, I don't like no clear ones. I do now.
Hey, look, we're still in style, man. We're still in style. See, I didn't want to marry a light skin girl because I'm like, we're gonna be clashing. You know what I'm saying? So, look, like vanilla and chocolate. You can see us you can see us.
Honestly, I never had people assumed that I had a type.
Okay, so you didn't have a type.
I technically really didn't have one as far as like, like physically, I didn't really fully have one because I'm gonna be, we were both single for so long, so I can say it more vulgar. I was a creep, so it was different style. Like it depended on the time, glory to his name, the day, whatever. It was too many varieties of females at that time over the years, so I didn't have a specific type. People assumed that they knew what my type was. There are people that was, closest to me that assumed they knew what my type was. So even when me and
I
her
wasn't his type.
So even when me and her got together, you know, and we went public, or I let them know about it, to them, they were taken aback, like, oh, I just assumed he was going to do. That's funny, you assumed, but you remember those 3 words, the 3 letters at the beginning of assume, right? So,
what are those words, Mike? I'm joking. Don't say it. Asinine. I got you.
What you said, yeah. But like, so it's that. So I didn't fully have a type, and then at that time when we encountered each other, I was like, I wasn't looking for anything, but I needed something different in my life. Period. I needed something different in my life.
You see what your sister's saying? You see what your sister's saying?
I'm going to tell y'all, he ain't lying. Mike liked them all. Thank you, Turquoise. Listen, Turquoise, Chelsea, Courtney, they'll tell you, because they going to his name. My biological sisters, yeah, they'll know. But like at that moment and that's how I said I didn't want to get spooky or deep, but you know, we all spiritual. And at that time, literally a few weeks before I encountered her at the funeral, I remember changing, not really being specific and repeating my prayer. I changed my prayer. And my prayer was, God, for what you have for me, what you said you have planned for me, and all these different things, if that's what you have for me, I don't want to continue doing what I was doing in order, you know, to get it. So, you know, even not just specifically a female, but put the right people in front of me to help get me to where I need to be. And literally 3 weeks later, she came walking in at the funeral. And so it literally caught me by surprise, that, you know, I was staring, you know, of course, unfortunately it was at a homegoing, but I was staring at my destiny coming down the aisle. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, I found what my type was.
We both were at that same point though. Yeah. We both were there. Because my prayer to God in 2017 was really hard for me. I lost someone really close to me in a terrible, tragic way. Yeah. And so I was mad at God for a little while. And so my prayer actually, around my birthday time that year, I turned 35 that year. And it was, God, I just want to get back close to you. Like whatever that looks like, whatever I need, that's what I need. And like, It wasn't for me, it wasn't months, because God know me, because he know I would have been like, Mike came immediately. And I was like, oh, and then it makes sense now. So this is what you wanted to happen. Okay.
Yeah. And that's neat that you guys said that you guys were pretty much at that road, because when I was dating or whatever, I had got out of a relationship and I was just like, yo, I'm done. And I literally, this was when they had the old Chili Hall at Central. I walked across, what's that, Amber? What's that street on the side of this? It's not Lawson Street, but what's the street on the side of, like if you're coming down Austin Avenue, and the old Chili Hall was on the left. It's a side road where you can go down to Madugal. What's that side road?
I can't think of that. It's the intersection.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we could park our cars down there.
Yeah.
So one night, man, you know, you don't go walking late and not on that night. And one night, man, around 1:00, I left my dorm room and I went down there and I got into my car and I sat in the car and I literally told God, I said, look, man, here's the deal. I talking just like I'm saying it. I said, look, man, here's the deal. I said, the next girl you send me and my wife, don't waste your time because I'm done. Literally, I was just like that. And so I'm here at Central saying this, and this chick is where?
Elizabeth City.
No, when you was on the boardwalk.
Oh, I was in. We went to go visit my uncle in New Orleans, but we went to the bayou in Texas. No, the Mississippi line, because they went to the casino. So I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, we was on the bayou, near the bayou. And
so she's out there near the water, saying, you know, telling God, look, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's neat that you both are at this place. And because I see a whole lot of crazy mess on, y'all do too. I see a whole lot of crazy mess on social media. And you see people saying, all these men ain't this and all these men ain't that. And it's like, yo, first of all, no man not going to want you because you looking hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like you putting yourself out there, like you have to literally be to a place where honestly you have to be to a place where God is more important than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're putting other things before God, he ain't gonna send you nothing because you're gonna take it and put it in his place. But when you get to a point where it's like, God, you look, it's you. And then if you happen to send me something, look, I'm ready for it because you are first in my life. And when people don't see that, and that's why they still single, because all they want is a man, all they want is a woman. But God is like, yo, until I'm that dude or I'm that female in your life, I ain't sending you nothing because you ain't ready. Sorry, baby. But yeah, that's awesome. I like that story. I like it.
Okay, so we done. How long did y'all date?
It was over a year.
Okay, and the engagement was awesome. We were there. It was amazing. It was big.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you the question that I want to ask you, but I'm gonna just say this: we did interview some couples that they were abstinent throughout. One of them dated for 3 years, and they were absent. Look, I'm not gonna tell y'all to say it on social media. I just know that it's hard.
We here now.
It's hard.
We here now, so we
don't have that
right.
We here now, so I'm freeing myself. I said the closer I've gotten with her, the more, and not just closer with her, but closer I've gotten with Christ. I've been able to free myself more. You know, we overcome by the word of our testimony.
Right.
All that.
In the blood of the
bro.
Y'all so spiritual. Yeah.
Look, we're all spiritual people.
Listen,
I know that, but
I'm not ashamed. It was not an easy thing. It was not an easy task. It's hard, difficult. I can only speak for me because I know she just wasn't. She probably like, Mike, please don't say that. I'm like,
we got a way of bringing stuff out of people.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It just was what it was. It was difficult, and you know, we weren't completely abstinent. We weren't, you know. And I'm thankful that God still gave us grace. You know what I mean, in all of that.
Because we actually feel bad a little bit sometimes.
Y'all feel bad?
We felt hard, but we cried and prayed.
Y'all felt
maybe we should stop. Maybe we should
after.
Right. It was after.
We ain't crying and praying in the midst of it.
I wish y'all ain't.
Get all that.
It was giving him glory the whole time, but you know, amen.
It was just a different form. You know, you gotta.
It was a praise, all right.
You know, you gotta test drive the car before you put the car. No, you don't. Y'all don't do that. Look, y'all stay holy. Y'all stay holy.
But yeah,
abstain, y'all. Abstain. That's what we breathe. Abstain. Abstinence. I'm telling my daughters, abstinence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you gotta preach it. So, so we dated. We had the awesome engagement. We had the amazing wedding that you had, and I love the fact that you just went different. But that's who y'all are. Y'all go different. I love it. But when, Amber, when can you say that you realized not only did you marry Michael? Because see, the thing is, I say married to a musician, but really you married Michael Anthony Georges Jr. That's who you married, who just so happens to be a musician.
That's what we just said.
Yeah. I try to fix that for some people. Because some people like, I married a musician, I married a doctor. No, you married that person who just happens to do that. So when did you realize how serious his music was to him? How it played into your relationship?
Was it before you asked him to let him sing at the funeral, or was it before that?
I don't know, because I mean, even before I knew him, I felt like, you know, that was his passion and that was his, you know, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that.
No, I get it.
Well, I will say, there was one weekend we were dating. There was one weekend Mike had like Summit, We Church, the other band. I was like, I didn't even know. I was just like, I thought you were at Summit. Like, I didn't know it was this, you know, it was this deep. And then I'm getting to know him too and his music at the same time. So I guess at that point is when I was like, okay, now this is the real deal. He's the real deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's the real deal. And so when I went to go see him, because for a while, you know, again, you know, we had to clean up. Yeah. So I didn't come around and I didn't go to things for months and months and months and months. So I never saw him perform in person while dating.
I messed up.
I saw him for the first time perform. Like,
since you gave him a broom and a dustpan.
He needed a Kirby vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, Kirby.
He needed a Kirby.
Talking about the ones that you find in the janitor closet at the school.
Yeah,
the one that can suck up everything.
An industrial.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but no, I guess it was that weekend. That was my first time, like, experience, like, wow, you got, I mean, this is like again, Summit, We Church, and then the band, the Booty Band. And I was like, and then his ministry, and I was like, oh, you're doing all of this. Right. So it was in the midst of us dating. And I was like, okay, but I just respected the schedule because again, I'm also a creative as well. Right. And I had to sacrifice my schedule at work when we got married because when we were dating, I'm used to being at the shop on Fridays till 1 o'clock in the morning. That was I took my last client at 11 p.m.
Can't do that. Yeah.
And I worked all day on Saturday. And went, and a couple of times on Sunday, I did not have Mondays off. So I said, when I get married, I'm switching this all up because I need to see my husband. I need to cook. I got to be there for the kids.
I need to lay before the Lord.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean.
So, Amber, I have a question. So, so of course, Mike is in a lot. Have you gotten, with 2 years, you said, have you ever, and I guess I can ask both, has it ever gotten to a point where, I guess for you, Amber, you feel like he does too much as it pertains to music? And on the flip side of that, do you feel like, have you ever gotten to the point, at one point in time, you were like, man, she's doing too much stuff. She gotta chill out, give me some time. You know what I'm saying? Have you guys ever felt like
that? I've never felt like Mike was doing too much, but Mike does do a lot and he's not appreciated. And that's the part that I don't like.
Okay. I need you to stay on. Okay. Go ahead and do what you, and then we're coming back to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish. Girl, thank you. Yeah. We're going to come back around. That's why to marry someone in the industry, whether it be, musician, pastor, minister, all of that, it's not for the weak. Okay. So I understand the schedule because I am also busy. Again, I am also, a creative as well. So I get the late nights sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah. And Mike changed, being, in his little studio area all night. He did that stuff and sacrificed all of that on his own. Now he does have his time where he's here. And sometimes I'm like, but it's never too much. I just don't like the fact that he does and gives so much and it's not appreciated. That's what I don't like.
Right.
Go ahead, Mike, before I come back around to the part where she just drove to.
Yeah. Well, the only time I ever felt like that, honestly, that she was doing I guess more than she should, probably similar to what she's saying about me. Like sometimes I feel like when you're a hustler, sometimes you kind of get tunnel vision. Yeah. And when you're in tunnel vision mode, you're not really thinking of, and it's unintentional, but you're not really thinking of, I guess, who's affecting or whatever the case. Right. You're just trying to do what you got to do. Yeah. And then even on the flip of that, those who you're doing for are not being considerate to all that's going on, Right. And so that's normally the struggle that I've seen. And then the other part where I felt like I felt she was doing too much was honestly, I feel like we probably would have talked more about this later on, but during, the early stages of the condition that you had.
That's what I was going to say. That's the first time he ever spoke up about me overdoing it. He's like, Amber, I got it. You don't have to work as hard. You don't have to, whatever. Like you're doing too much. That's the only time that's the first time he ever used those words, like you're doing too much. Right. And I was like, oh, that just kind of got me excited.
And so to come back, I think as a musician, I think that's one of the most disheartening things. That's one of the most disheartening things that I've faced as being a musician. Is I know my worth and I know my value. And Sherry has got me a lot about this over the years. Literally, she has got me to the point sometimes we've probably had an argument about this. But that's one of the most disheartening things is to not be appreciated for what you do. And because like Mike, I don't just do one thing. It's a multiplicity of things that I can do. And it's financially, let me say this, financially, I was offered, if I had to do what I wanted to do, let me say that. If I had to do what I wanted to do, off tops, my bank account would have been 100,000 a year. Off tops. You know what I'm saying? It would have been full time, but off tops, it would have been 100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we sacrifice, man, the things that if people really knew what we sacrificed, they wouldn't treat us the way that we've been treated over the years, because we've turned down good money, good opportunities just for the sake of loyalty or just for the sake of, you know what I'm saying, being faithful. And they don't even realize.
Walking heavy, Pastor.
They don't even realize, yo, I'm doing this because I love you, not because I have to. Because honestly, if I wanted to do what I really wanted to do, I've been going a long time ago, and you would have had, you know. And that's just period. You know, and I think one of the things for me is I had to wake up and say, all right, you've done that long enough. You know, now it's time for you to do what's best for you and your family. And people don't understand that. Like, people get bothered by that. They get mad and they get angry, but it's like, yo, do you not understand what I've been doing for you for $3 when I could have been making 3,000 or 30,000? Right. You know, so you can talk all you want to. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed, because if I know if I say something, I'm gonna mess up my blessings. But you know, people just don't understand. What is it? It's a what is it? What's the scripture? About God, what's the scripture about not being appreciated in your own?
In your own.
You know, and you see it.
It's a sad fraud.
But you see it, and the only reason why you dismiss it is because you know that God has something better for you, or God has, because you know you're gonna get it on the back end, as I want to say. And generally, like, God has to have major stuff for us, both of us. He has to have major stuff. Like, I'm talking about major stuff to the point where y'all, Amber, you and Sherry could just kick your feet up and do absolutely nothing for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? He has to, because of so much stuff, so much time, so much patience, dealing with people. Just God bless Jehovah. I'm just saying, they just don't understand the real value. They just don't understand. Parents just don't understand.
I know you saying you're trying to say it without saying, and I know it's like, because we subconsciously you treating it as if we are partially strangers in a sense, but we've done this together. You know what I mean? In a lot of different ways and a lot of different things, without going into detail. So, you know, I understand, I understand. And we have labored in a lot of different capacities. And so it's been a task when the words are not matching the value.
Right.
We get these words a lot of times, and sometimes at a certain point, what they don't realize is if that value is not being matched and appreciated, like tangibly, then those words become wolf tickets. And we can't survive off of wolf tickets. No. You know, that's just the reality. I know for a fact, I won't go say who they are, but if I would have did what I wanted to do even before I met Amber, I would have took this job in Texas, and I probably would have never gotten married.
That's the only reason why, Mike. It was in Atlanta. That's the only reason why. Because I would have screwed up everything. I mean, I guess the larger picture is you have to be obedient to God, but it's like, yo, God, you got to do something, because I got all of these easy money. Like, God, I can do this without even thinking. Matter of fact, I already got enough stuff for a whole year that I ain't even got. But come on, God, like, are you torturing me? Are you playing games? Are you playing tricks? I'm like, I'm asking you, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
But that's neither here nor there, man. Yeah. But that's the plight of a musician, y'all, who's watching. Y'all think it's easy and we just sit down to a keyboard and do. No, man, we go through some mental things, like some decisions. Like, if we really wanted to do what we wanted to do, we've been ghosts. I mean, like, bye. But anyway, I digress.
Yes, thank you.
I digress. Mike, you got what I'm saying.
Yeah, look, I got what you're saying too, but I'm saying, I was like, Lord, here we go.
I'm not. Mo, he knows what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying too. I've heard it.
We would have right.
She said, I've heard it.
Right.
But yeah. But would you say it's been easier because you use the word creative? I say artsy. That's my way of doing it. Do you say it's easier that y'all connect and understand each other and understand each other's craft and gift because y'all both are creative or artsy people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can say here it's been more like a conflict because I'm not artsy. I'm not creative. I'm business minded. I'm an administrator by heart. So mine is logic. Mine is order. Mine is plan. And then not only that, where I was raised, I was very affectionate, and quality time is very important to me. It's my love language and affection. And so, and I married the complete opposite. And so,
hey, I'm affectionate.
So it's good to know that was something that you learn to walk into and work into and understand it at an early point in the marriage. So with that, we're gonna flip it a little bit. I said in the post, I said there's some things that being married to a musician that most wives don't talk about, but I think some wives should. And I'm gonna touch it if y'all can tell me that if it's not meant to be touched. What about the unwanted attention that comes with the gifts and the crafts? I say that's my nice way of saying the unwanted attention. We can label it something else, but you know.
So it doesn't bother me until it becomes disrespectful.
Okay.
And so then I'll have to nicely remind them that I'm from East Durham.
Look at Mike.
I'm kidding. I have not had to do that really, honestly. But it comes with the territory. You know, I mean I can't say that I have been terribly disrespected, you know, where I know, to my face or, you know, it hasn't happened. Like, I know, of course I know of things and I know of people that are attracted to him. And I know, you know, a few people that are still upset that he's still married. You know what I mean? And
girl, you probably got death stresses you don't know about.
Well, and then like last year, like, you know, we did a live for our anniversary, and I explained to them, like, it's not you that you guys didn't make it. You just were not the one. It doesn't mean that I'm better. You just were not the one. That's it.
Right.
So, and that really is the truth. It doesn't mean that, oh, let me look at what she got. So that's what he would know. It's just that he was ready and I was the one. Mm-hmm. So everybody's like, you need to write. I mean, even some of his sisters. First of all, let me say this. Okay. We got some fam. He got some church fam. Okay.
Right.
But some of them sisters, I wish I had my glasses on so I can do like that. Anyway, it's like, you know,
just do it anyway. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway.
I think Amber's freeing herself tonight.
Yes, free yourself, Amber. Free yourself, Amber.
That's what I feel.
I'm just not with all of that, and it's like I can see right through it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a borderline obsession because, you know, first of all, y'all really not sister and brother like that. Y'all don't have to talk every day. You do not have to come to everything. You're not going to know what goes on in our household. Girl, have a seat. Have a seat.
Look at Mike.
Because we know what to do in the moment.
So it's like, you know, it's just too much. So that part is worse than the unwanted attention because he has so much family here, so many sisters here that feel entitled.
So and
I just be like, girl, let me see, Courtney, Chelsea,
all right, my turn.
Turquoise, them the sisters.
Let them the sisters. Okay, call them out, boo. It's okay.
All right. No, but
you said you wish she would. That's what you get. No. You said you wish she would.
And here's the reason why I partially wish she would is because it actually helps me to say, you know, more that I normally wouldn't say. For so long, of course, as y'all know, you know, I've been here 12 years, almost more longer than that. But, you know, being down here most of the time, I had no biological family down here. So I've built relationships over the years with a lot of people. And even in building those relationships, I think that similar to what TJ said, I've kind of just kept quiet with a lot of things, or just kind of, I'm an easygoing guy. So sometimes in me building those relationships, sometimes people would get carried away, assuming that they have a certain stature of position in my life that I never said that you had. I never said that you had, but I genuinely, love people, you know what I mean, to make them feel that way, which in not even in defense, in addition to that, that's something that we both have an ability to do. We make somebody feel like, they are top tier above the rest of the world. And we might not have never even said it. Right. We just love on them. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's always kind of become that way. But the beauty of it the most, and the reason why I wanted to say something was because I fully support anything that she's saying. It's
because
not.
He knows I'm not coming from like a.
No, that's not even the reason why. That's the one thing. But the reason why I fully support it is because just because I haven't said anything about that with a lot of people doesn't mean I never felt it.
Right.
And I used to make this statement all the time, and I still say it. I just changed the words because it wasn't.
Mike, say it one more time, man. Say what you just said. Say what you know. No,
he was in the middle of his.
No, because what you said. No, because I say that because sometimes to the wife, because of us not saying it, to them it seems like we're just letting it go on and we don't care. Yeah. But that's really Mike is about to explain really how it is. No, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. And I changed the words because the way I used to say it wasn't really hallelujah, glory to his name. But I always put people in a position where I give them enough rope until they hang themselves. Because sometimes people get a little carried away. I've watched. She gave the example of my biological family, whether and some biological family have come down or been in my spaces, whether it's on social media or in person, and you have those whom I call brother or sister feel like they have more staying in my life than my biologicals. And then what I would nicely do is I just look at them, smile, but then tend back to my biological family, my blood family, in that regard, because it's just like, just because I don't say nothing don't mean I ain't aware. I see a lot. I still got city eyes and ears, so I pay attention so much. And I fully support what she's saying because I just, at the end of the day, I'm now much more in a place where, like, as long as I got I heard a preacher say, everything that I need is under my roof.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if my brother, sister, cousin, and I'm using these quotations because they're not blood, if they decide they don't want to be bothered with me or whatever anymore, that's perfectly okay because I'm gonna wake up every morning next to the one that I want to wake up to and grow old with. And so that, and I guess technically freeing myself too is like, if I
and it's not everybody. It's not like family is fam. Like I got fam that's not blood. You know what I mean? Yeah. But one thing that I helped Mike with, he already had it, but I think I was really big on boundaries in my space. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think that, when we got closer and closer, when then we get married, like we both had, we're showing each other that like boundaries are necessary. Because if you don't have these boundaries, you have all these people at the beginning of a relationship that has so much to say about who you were supposed to be with and who you were supposed, you know what I mean? Yeah, but you're happy. So they're supposed to be happy for you. And that's your sister and that's your brother, but they're not happy. So boundaries, that's very important.
And they have good intentions, but they just go overboard.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. I would say some of them do.
You know how to separate the wheat from the tares.
Some of them are secretly in love, actually.
Call it what it is. That's why I still with the same statement. I let people hang themselves, I let them give themselves enough rope so they hang themselves. Because there's some people, I let them get close enough and then they feel like, okay, they're good with that. They're good with being to that certain point because they know they're not getting no further.
Right.
And so that's just kind of how it is. But I'm so much at peace with just, I think more than the unwanted attention or whatever the case. I'm not at a point any further in my life, especially now that I'm not single and I have grown to fall much more in love with her each day than I ever was. That what hallelujah, what's up? But I think because of that as well, the unwanted attention, even more so now than ever, I'm numb to it as far as the groupies or that type of. I'm using that. You know what I'm saying? Because they've always been there, even before even before music. They've always been around. So therefore,
he married now. They want him for real now.
So
I mean, come on now.
Yeah, we know that.
Come on, man. It's like a piece of gold on Mount Rushmore, of course, because it's more enticing. But at the end of the day, like you said, under your roof, I got everything I need under my roof. So you can want me all you want to, but it doesn't matter to me because in my mind, I have what I want. So you're nothing to me because I have what. This is my groupie.
Yeah, like I really don't care about that. What I was about to say before I got hallelujah. What I was about to say was the unwanted attention has not been from, especially I think for us now, has not been from the said groupies. It's been from those who feel entitled to a certain position in my life or our lives that they really don't. And that's okay that they feel that way, but that's just how they feel. And how I feel is, here we go. Hallelujah.
But that's good because, you know, what people have to understand is, when you're single, you can roll a certain way. But when you get married, you know what I'm saying, that wife say so. I mean, she's not your boss, but you got to do what you got to do to make sure that she gets first. Of course, God, I got all that, but I'm talking about here on earth. You got to make sure she gets first. And that everything is done to the point where she doesn't feel as if she has to fight for your attention. She has to fight. You got to do everything you can do to make sure that she's comfortable and that she doesn't have to worry about anything with anybody else. Right. And if that means, having to tell your sister or your brother, hey, you got to kind of take a back seat because I have a responsibility now. And my responsibility is no longer you. My responsibility is my wife. So if you feel offended by what I'm, hey, I'm sorry. Man, you know what? No, I don't even apologize for it. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I don't apologize for it. Yeah. And I'm perfectly okay with like those, I guess, feeling some kind of way or whatever the case, because, I'm putting more value and consideration into my household. Because, you're pretty much just revealing the route to where your affection was towards me in the first place. So your affection was really, it was conditional. Mm-hmm. It was conditional, predicated upon what it is I could do for you or with you, whatever the case, not just who I am. You talk a good game, but you really didn't, you didn't really care too much about who I was because who I am is here. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't genuinely support that and genuinely celebrate that with me, then you just revealing it on your own, and you have fun doing that. Right. We're gonna be good over here.
And if you can't respect that, what I'm saying? That's really the biggest thing. If you can't respect it, then we have no dealings.
And that's it. And even and maybe this is also the Negro in me. Even if you don't respect it, that's cool. Just stay across the street. Because if at this point I'm in a position, yes, I'm a pastor, all that different stuff, but I didn't forget where I come from. So if it gets too far out of hand, I can always remember how I used to be beforehand. Hallelujah. But that's glory to his name. But so I think that's been the ultimate battle the most for us has been the unwanted attention seeking or has been more so from entitled people that I genuinely love, but at the end of the day, you just got to go your own way. My way is what I decided when I made the decision a year before I proposed.
Right.
I knew within the first 3 months of us dating, oh yeah, this is it. I don't want nobody else. I know who I want to spend the rest of my life with. I'm going to work on my life and continue to build and grow myself, but still fall in love with her. And then when the time is right, I'm going to propose. You know what I mean? And so
because you told me that. You said you did. You told me. You was like, I found the one. I said, you found what?
I told you. Yes, I did. I
was like, I found one. I was like, okay. Well,
Sherry was you were one of the few that I went through, and I was like, yeah, this is it. That's it. Because that's also because even outside of groupies, y'all know of, what I mean, single parenting and all that other stuff. Y'all know the depths of that. Y'all remember days coming to your old house and apartment. You know what I mean? So it's,
I remember the diamond ring in the ear.
Yeah, hallelujah.
That rug hanging low. But yeah, okay. So let's shift a little bit because our time has pretty much wound up. But
I feel God in that. Let's shift.
So Mike, he's speaking in tongues and stuff. Mike, tell me if you know. Tell me Amber's love languages, and Amber, tell me Mike's love languages. If you know,
you can tell the X-rated version. It's fine. Go ahead.
So, hers is actually kind of it's multiples in a sense to me.
That's
because I know she whether no matter how big or how small, she does she likes, I'll say, gifts, whatever it may be. That's baby, that's one of them. I'm not saying that's the number one. And this is multiple. Yeah, there's no particular order, so I don't want nobody thinking that, you know what I'm saying? And I know that not necessarily because she wants me to do it, but that's how she loves others too. She loves to give and take care and look out. She'll randomly see something and it could be something like she could see a shirt or something and she'll be like, you know what? I think Sherry would like this. And then, and then buy it, and then she'll buy it and then tell you she's going to get it, and she done already bought it. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things she does. And I'm learning, I think, also conversation. She loves to talk with me. I'm she loves to talk, with her family and friends too, but she loves having conversation. I pay attention to that much more than she realizes. And sometimes it's not even always conversation. Sometimes it's just me listening. She will, it could be a random thought, random moment, or something that happened throughout the day or whatever. And there's a lot of times where I know, okay, this is a moment to just listen and let her get it out or whatever the case. So conversation is one. And I think the other one for me now more than ever is affection. She tries to act like she's not affectionate. But I think the more closer that we've gotten, she's become very much an affectionate person with me. You know what I mean? She's not as much as that. I know, with friends and family per se, but it ain't all nasty. But we're touchy feely.
It's affection. Yeah, it's affection.
She said she was a crier. That shows that you can't be a crier and not affectionate. You just know who to show your affection to.
Yeah,
I think I slightly referenced something.
Crier though.
She has selective affection.
I don't just cry for no reason.
It don't have to be for no reason, but it could be a frequent thing or from time to time. That's okay.
That's the chemo that made me do that.
That's why I said selective affection.
Selective affection. Yeah. But yeah, I think those are and like I said, in no order, those are the three main ones I feel that she has. I think others, the other love languages that were in the book, I think they come around here and there, but I think those three are very top tier for me.
Amber?
Well,
I would say you also like gifts too. From me, because I buy good stuff.
Yeah, from you.
From me.
Yeah, that's right.
You like to receive things.
From you.
But I think his top is quality time.
Okay.
Quality time. And there's a lot of things under that umbrella, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
We got you.
Like marriage.
There's different layers.
He likes all of the layers. Of quality time.
Right.
So that's like his number one for me. Communication, Sherry,
I have grown.
He has grown. When I tell you, he has really, I'm so impressed because I have sometimes talk to me. I don't know if you don't tell me,
Right.
You're supposed to be prophetic. You're supposed to hear from the Lord. You know what we're feeling.
No.
Quality time.
Yeah.
I've grown a lot with that.
Yeah. He will shut down.
It's just not.
He's never shut down on me that I know of, but I can tell when he's about to.
Right.
I can tell when he's about to.
So, Amber, when you can tell that he's about to shut down, what is a mechanism that you use or to make sure that he doesn't shut down on you?
Or how do you respond to it?
Yeah.
Can I give you an example of when I felt like he was about to?
Do what you got to do.
The day that I found that when the doctor called me and told me that I had cancer. Called my mama first, then I came downstairs to tell him, and I said, listen, because he had shut down that weekend because I'd had my mammogram already and already knew. And I think he felt it. I didn't tell him.
Right.
I waited until the doctor told me, but he didn't really talk to me that entire weekend, and I let him have his space. But when I got the phone call, I said, Mike, you are the only person that I'm going to allow to be vulnerable. You are do not shut me out. Please don't shut me out. I have to those are the words I have to say, please. I have to say, look at him. And he has to feel that I really mean it.
Right.
You can't shut me out. That's all it really takes. Really, really, those strong words, that's all it takes for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm you can't shut me out, or when he comes home and I feel like him trying, the stress of maybe worship that day or something that happened in church or something that happened at something that he was at, I can feel him either shutting down or wanting to talk to me. And I'm what happened? That's why I asked him, how was church today? What happened? Right. You know what I mean? Do you want to talk about it? And then he releases it. But I have to, I kind of, I got to bring it out of him. You know what I mean? And let him know I want to listen. I want to listen. I am here. Yeah. Because if I actually don't say it, if I don't say those things, he's not going to release it.
So the last thing I want to talk about tonight. So you're married to a musician, and sometimes people don't look at musicians as human beings because we're always at somebody's service. I mean, we're not at a music service, but we're always at somebody's service, meaning we're always doing something for somebody. And so most of the time we're looked at as what you can do for me, So Mike, I got a question, man, because as musicians, we're men first before with anything else. How did you feel, man, when you found out that your wife, had cancer, emotionally?
I know I felt like God was trying to get my attention again. But even furthermore, that was probably one of the scariest things. And y'all know me since I've been here. I don't get afraid of nothing. I've seen too much, done too much, experienced too much. And that was and something that for the first time I felt the most I was so dear. It was something that meant so much dear to me outside of my kids. I felt like I was in a position, and it was just an initial reaction of something I care for so much I could lose. And I know the ins and outs of breast cancer and it being treated the most and all this other stuff, but initially my shock reaction was I done been working on my life, trying to get better, trying to work me together and be a better husband, because our first year was rough. You know what I'm saying? Our first year of marriage was rough. And I say all the time, I don't care how much we try to balance it out with each other. Most of our roughness, I take responsibility for it. And it personally. And I'm thankful, through prayer and talking to others and counseling and stuff like that, it's helped me. But even in that moment, I felt like, dang, we finally are getting somewhere. We had just talked about it and we felt like we could exhale. We got through this first rough year. Now we can breathe and move forward. We made plans to do stuff and be better, be more affectionate, communicate more, all of this stuff. And I felt like that was the first time I was scared of something. And so it was the easy route. One of the things I always used to do is if something I didn't care for or it hit me hard, like losing a family member or something like that, what happened, that because especially somebody dear to me, like I just shut down. First thing I want to do, I find out something tragic happens, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to think about it. Even if I have to pray about it after I'm done praying, I'm ready to go to sleep just so I can not think about it no more. And so it was, the easy route was for me to shut down and feel like, okay, I'm not sure how to respond to this or how to handle this, but maybe she may need space, or I don't know. I was like, I had so many thoughts, and I know now, and I know even from her, I know much more now than I did initially when I found out, that she didn't need the space. Because I've heard stuff like that from other people in the past as well. And again, it was wolf tickets. Like I heard one thing, but people did another thing. Or you had some people that said one thing to me and had ulterior motives, whether I knew about it or not, and such and such. So this is the first time where I could hear somebody say something to me, and I'm this close to, and I actually believe or felt it. Even as stubborn and hard-headed as I could be sometimes, it like, and so I'm saying like I was scared. That's the nice way I can say it. I was scared. And we prayed. We sat right in here in this room in my little, I call it the studio / man cave. When she told me, I cried that moment too. That was probably one of the most vulnerable moments I ever had with her or anything, because I was like, okay, God, I can be transparent about my initial feelings rather than trying to absorb it, as I've been so easily, I'm so easily comfortable to do. I'm grateful, because I was able to watch her strength, watch, how she navigated through things, even when it was hard for her. We both were learning. I'll say it to her and anybody else, even in this process, I sometimes still felt like I screwed up more than I did well in trying to nurture and care for her. And some of that is not just from me really just kind of observing it, but some of it is just also me being my worst critic. So, I felt like that. And so it was rough, man. That was one of the most scariest moments that I've ever had. That was more scarier than the first time I ever watched somebody die in person. And I was a kid. I was 5 years old the first time I saw that. Yeah. So it was scary, man.
Yeah, because I used to say, me and Sherry was having a conversation. I said, I can't imagine, this happening to Sherry. And I was like, I said, honestly, man, I said, if I was Mike, man, I wouldn't be thinking about no music or nothing. I said, I have no clue about what he's going through right now, like mentally, like, people like to try to put themselves in, oh yeah, I know what you shut up. No, you don't know what I'm going through. You ain't been through it unless God tell you. He can just tell you the outside. You're not going through it. Like, you don't know what I'm dealing with mentally, how scared I am, or you don't know. And I was like, we gotta. We'll text you from time to time and whatever. But I was like, we gotta pray. I said, because not that you're in it by yourself, because Amber is there, but right now you have to carry the load. And I was like, nobody understands the load that he's going to have to carry. You know what I'm saying? Until God does whatever he's going to do, which we knew, believing God, that there was going to be healing. But it's like, nobody knows, the burden. And they always like, people like talk, oh, the man. And I was like, no, nobody knows the burden that he's having to carry right now in the midst of everything else. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, we just gotta pray. And every time we can encourage, we do that. But I was like, this junk is real. Man, but I'm glad.
That was the hardest thing, because even like after we found out, I still had to go right back to work. And that's the other burden of not just being a musician, but especially when you do it like full time.
Yeah.
And I remember, I remember going straight to work. We had to record and such. And because I'm so programmed to be a machine, I can do it. There's a flip to it as well, and I'll get to that in a minute. But like, so I can just be like, I'm on cruise control. Let me just do this. Let me get through this. I can perpetrate, yada yada, and then I want to run home and be with my wife. And I remember Brandon saw it on my face before I could even pull him to the side. And we got done recording. He took me in the green room and just said, yo, what's up? I lost it in that green room and just told him what was up. And, you know, thankfully, I was my brother, one of my best friends. I know we were talking about unnecessary attention. He's one of the few genuine ones. He sat there and cried with me, you know, and understood, and even was surprised, like amazed and proud that I was able to still lead and do what I needed to do through that. And so what I was saying about the flip to it was, one of the things that helped me, in addition to counseling and prayer, was worship. Mm-hmm. Worship. Yeah. I'm even trying to fight from crying now again. Like, worship helped get me through every hardest part of it. Right. The weight of like, dang, I'm screwing up, or dang, I don't know what to do. How do I handle this? I hate seeing her feel this way. I hate watching her in pain, or, you know, whatever the case. I am grateful to the fact that I was able to reach for God when I needed to, the most. And thankfully, because I'm a worship pastor, I had no choice but to keep it vertical. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to help me. Worship saved my life. And it actually, in a lot of ways, and I remember Pastor Bird, shout out to Pastor Bird, Lord knows. She came to me one night, one of the services, I came to We Church service. She whispered in my ear and said, your worship and your praise is what's going to help heal your wife, and not just heal your wife, but heal all the ins and outs of, you know, the struggles of it. You know, I lost it then. I didn't shout, but I lost it then. Yeah. I shouted later because I needed to shout with my sister. Glory to God. I think I told you, Sherry was one of my few shouting partners. I didn't shout with everybody. Glory to his name. I didn't shout with everybody.
Sherry ain't got no rhythm, but when the beat get light, it's a wrap. She on the downbeat and she on the one, buddy.
Go ahead. You had something to say?
I said, but that was one of the things that helped the most, because I realized it was something that God put on my life, you know, to be a worshiper, to be that type of person, to show him what, you know, he's worth to me. Right. And it helped me navigate through this the best way possible, man. I don't think anybody could understand if they've never, like you said, TJ, if they've never experienced it as a patient or as a survivor or as the caregiver. Yeah. Like, all you can do is literally just lament with me, like, and love us through it, because, like,
between him, my mom, we had just lost my grandmother. Yeah. My mom had just won her battle with cancer the same year.
My grandma.
His grandmother just won her battle of cancer same year. Yeah. 5 months later, boom. So, you know.
So you made a key statement earlier, and I want to know the ends of it, and that's the question we're going to close out on.
Okay.
Because May is Mental Health Awareness, and Mike has pretty much told us how he was feeling and mentally where he was at. But you made a statement earlier. You said, Mike, I'm only going to allow you to be vulnerable in front of me. Why was it so important for only Mike to get the opportunity to be vulnerable before you, when, of course, you had close friends, true friends and sisters that you could have told or whatever? What was your mental state in that? And then throughout the whole process of this, what was going through your mind?
Because for once in my life, I could only bear him being vulnerable. I did not call my friends and tell them. My mom did. Mm-hmm. My mom, I am literally a mirror image of my mom. And even though I know it was so much on her, she's a battery. Like, she just goes and goes and goes and goes. And trust me, we reward her. You know what I mean? But it's almost like, you know, it's like, okay, I know my mom is going to be okay. Even though, you know, of course I let my mom cry. She's just not going to. Right. She's not going to. So that's why it was just him. I couldn't deal with them. Couldn't deal with my sister. Couldn't take my brother, because I'm always the strong one. Mm-hmm. I'm always the one that's, you know, motivating everyone. And, you know, that's me. I am that person. And I love being that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
But with my husband, I wanted it all to be laid out. Like, let's lay it all out on the table. Like, you cry, throw things. If you're mad, like, you're the only person that I will allow. He's my partner. So that's just how I felt. Like, I just, I really didn't want to hear anybody. But if anybody, it was going to be, of course, my husband, and of course, and our children too.
Right.
But definitely, yeah.
And on social media, you showed us what a survivor looks like. You showed us what it looks like to go through, even if you didn't feel good, even the ugly moments that you shared, which thank you, because you didn't have to. Right. Because I don't know personally. I mean, I had 2 people with me that had cancer, and I've watched them pass away.
Right.
So, mentally, like you said, through the process, where was your mind at? Was it like, I'm just going to focus on healing, or, where were you at throughout this whole process?
My initial reaction was like, really? Okay, God, so what you want me to do? Well, what we doing? Like, so what you want me to do with this? Because I know I'm not going nowhere for a while. What we gonna do? I think I broke down with my mom the day after the doctor called. Everybody see, my brother and sister took off work. Mike was here, of course. My mom came over. That was really the first time I ever cried on my mom, probably since I was a kid, like that. Mm-hmm. After that day, I didn't break down like that again. I had my moments where I was frustrated from feeling sick, and I would, cry a little in the bed with Mike, whatever. But after that, I'm just like, listen, what we're going to do? I'm telling you, I didn't even tell my clients until chemo was almost done. I mean, I left, and I had no business getting chemo. My first chemo, the next day I went and did hair at the shop. Why? You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to still remain as normal as possible, but I have learned through this process that that's not possible.
Okay.
It's not possible. So I am actually still dealing with a lot of things that I was trying to push to the side just so I can make it through these first couple of things. Because chemo is bad. It's, it's getting rid of good and bad cells.
Right.
So thank God, I was healthy before, because I never had bad labs. My numbers were always good. Like, I never needed blood. I never needed fluid, nothing.
Right.
And I had 6 rounds of chemo that on a lot of people, they spread out to 20 something rounds. Mm-hmm. And I had it in 6. So they were very aggressive with my care. So, I mean, I'm still dealing with it. And I am waiting, I'm going to go to therapy specifically about, having a post-traumatic syndrome,
right.
with going to the doctor. Just skipping in the mammogram, thinking it was just a mammogram. I mean, I was skipping in there like, oh, okay, la, 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 la. Like, I don't even want to go back to the doctor. Right. Like, I mean, like, after this is over, I don't even want to go and get a checkup, even though I am. Yeah. I've never been afraid to go to the doctor.
But that's real, though. That's what I'm saying.
I've never been afraid.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing we tend to suppress. People, most women who are on the go like that.
Most strong people.
Like you said, most strong people. Not even women. But I was just saying it in that case. But, we tend to coast, and we do what we have to do to get it done. Mm-hmm. I mean, Mike even said that. But we're not literally embracing the process. We think we are, but we're not literally embracing. It's like grieving. Like, literally, you're not allowing your body, your emotions, your mental health to really go through that process, because you're shutting down certain parts just to focus on getting through. Yeah.
And I feel like I had to, or I would slow down, and I would stay there, and I didn't want to stay there.
Right.
I just learned through the grief process that, for each person is different. Just for me, I like to feel all the emotions, and I like to feel the emotions. Just go ahead and get them out. If I'm gonna scream, just go ahead and scream, and then I ain't screaming no more. If I'm gonna cry, go ahead and cry, and then I ain't crying no more. You know what I'm saying? I like to go through I guess we all hate going through this thing called process, because we just want to get to the end. But I just realized that when you go through the process or something, if you go through it, you might be kicking and screaming all day, but once you go through it, you're finished with it. Like, you don't have to go back and deal with anything. Like, the most tragic thing that's happened to me was losing Leela. That's it. But that in itself, like, I came back to the apartment, man, and I screamed and I fussed God out. I ain't want to. Oh God, I didn't want to hear no Jesus, no God, No, nothing. I ain't want to hear nothing spiritual. Nothing. I ain't want nobody to try to prophesy to me. Nothing. But each person has their process and so forth. So when it comes to things like that,
I would say this as the closing. During this process, I'm gonna say this the nice way. Bridgers y'all were some of the only folks that text or reached out or called during this process. And I don't mean all together. Even as far as like folks that we consider family. I'm gonna say it the way I want, and we're gonna close. Church family that actually called or reached out. Only time I heard from most others is if we decide to post anything on social media. And I say to y'all publicly, I appreciate it very much. Every time y'all reached out, however y'all did, I always let her know as well. And it means a lot.
It meant a whole lot. A lot.
Yeah, a lot. So thank y'all. Y'all have been, I know I've been, Uncle Mike, especially to my girls, but y'all have been definitely consistent, especially with me in my life. So thank y'all so much, man. I can't thank y'all enough.
Mike, it's only because we love you, man.
I mean, I know.
That's also the reason why, man. Other than that, man, come on. Only because we love you, man.
We have truly gone over our time, and for those who did stay up here, we are truly thankful for y'all supporting and chiming in tonight to hear Michael and Amber's love story.
This was good, y'all.
I know I didn't want to rush it because I really wanted to hear. And I'm just gonna be honest. Yes, we do know Mike for the past 12, 13 years, but Amber, you blessed me with saying yes so quickly. I didn't know how to. I was scared to ask. Let me just say that, because I was like, I know me and Amber don't know each other like that. And I said we have to get to know each other. So I was a little skeptic, but I said, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there and see what happens. And so when you said yes immediately, I put a big smile on my face and I was grateful.
I asked Mike and Amber, she was funny immediately.
Yes.
That's how she said it.
Yes, I was great.
She's trying to talk all calm.
Because I'm half sleepy and hungry. But
that cop said, Jesus.
Because but you also sparked another idea for me. When you did announce that you were sick, God had been giving me so many things this year, and one of them was that a lot of married couples don't talk about is how to handle being married when you have a spouse that has an illness, whether it be mental illness or physical illness, because that is a whole nother ball wax, like a lot of people can't speak on it. And so we'll probably do that sometime later in the year or whatever, but
after the summer.
After the summer. But once again, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for sharing your love story. And everybody that came up here tonight, thank y'all for supporting. Y'all have a great and safe weekend.
Thank y'all for being real.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially in the beginning.
Yes, most definitely. So yes, we love you guys, and we're always here. Yeah. That is no doubt. Yeah. We believe in supporting. We believe in being there. That's who we are. Yeah. So y'all have a great one, and kiss on them babies for me.
All right. Oh, bye, y'all.
See ya. Thursday love.